Welcome to the 111 Approach podcast, your go-to space for deep thoughts, real talk, and exploration of everything from spirituality to self-development and the mysteries of life with some light-hearted humour along the way. I'm your host, Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer, and each episode will dive into different topics, sometimes personal, sometimes thought-provoking, but always authentic. So whether you're here for some new perspectives, inspiration, or just a fresh take on the world with a bit of randomness thrown into the mix, you're definitely in the right place. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the 111 Approach podcast with me, Lakshmi, the 1 Minute Healer. And as always, we start and end each episode with gratitude. So I'd like to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone who's been listening and following the podcast and sharing with their friends and family. Really appreciate it. So today I have another special guest, and it is my utmost pleasure to introduce the beautiful soul that is Pallavi. And usually I do a little intro and let them and say about their background and how I know them. And but we're going to do things a little bit different today because I'm going to let Pallavi just introduce herself, and then I'm going to let you all know how actually we came to be in each other as well. So welcome to the pod, Pallavi.
Hi, Lakshmi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to chat with you.
It's your first podcast, isn't it?
It is my absolute first podcast, so please bear with me.
Oh, Pallavi, thank you so much for being here. And yes, please do enlighten us with firstly your origin story, because you're originally from India. Which part of India are you from?
Correct. I'm originally from Delhi. I was born and raised in Delhi. I'm a Delhi girl through and through. So, if we were recording the video, your listeners could see my block printed top that I'm
I
wearing.
have to say, these are times like this where I do wish we had video recording because you're looking so beautiful. Is it like it hand embroidered or something? It just looks amazing.
Hand block printed, so it's
hand block
kind of
printed top,
handwork. Yeah.
representing for the Desi culture. Love it,
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
So I was born and raised in Delhi. I was always a bit of a nerd, so I did my undergraduate degree in statistics, and then I came to the UK to study finance. And I worked in finance for a few years. I worked in investing. Still love that, really enjoy it. But, lots of things kind of took me towards starting my own business and just kind of creating something that was mine. And so here I am, I've become a shoemaker and a shoe seller. That's what I do now.
It's so cool. Firstly, every time somebody says finance, that bloody song comes into my head. I'm looking for a role in finance. 6'5", US.
I'm still interested in it, but there's a point in my life where I was like, I really got to do something on my own. And I'm blessed that my family's been in the shoe business for the past 30 years, so I can really take on some of the expertise that we have and build on top of that.
We're going to definitely talk about your new business, which you've just launched in barefoot shoes, but making them fashionable. Because we all know that actually walking barefoot is the best, right? This is what we were meant to do. But let's be honest, those 5-fingered toe separator shoes are just not the one. But I want to backtrack a little bit because the way myself and Pallavi know each other is because your husband, Mr. Sumant, is a very, very close family friend of ours. Can you please just enlighten us? How did you meet?
Yeah. I met Sumant in Delhi. We both went to the same university in the UK at different times, and we just about crossed each other. He graduated the year that I joined my master's degree.
Like sliding doors.
It was exactly like sliding doors, and so we're in Delhi. It's just after the pandemic got over and people started going out and meeting up. And there's an alumni event that's been organized. It's a very small event. I get there. There's 7 people. I chat with everyone. I even chat with someone. I say to him, let's go to the bar, let's get a drink. And he gets his drink. He orders a fresh lime soda. does not interact with me, just walks off. And I'm just like, okay, maybe he doesn't want to chat with me. That's fine. There's other people here. I'll chat with the other people. That's okay.
Can I just quickly ask you, did you think he was cute?
I
Or just
I'll
were
be
you not interested
honest.
at the time? Just
I
be
was
honest, it's fine.
yeah. I thought he was cute, but I was like, I wasn't really looking to
Mm,
date anyone. In our culture, people kind of encourage you to start getting married once you're done with your university. I
yeah.
just wasn't in that space where I wanted to be with someone because you just kind of get saturated with people kind
Mm.
of trying to introduce you to people or um,
How
just
old
kind
were
of
you at the
like,
time? Sorry, my lovely.
um, this was in 2022. So I was 27, 26,
Okay.
27. Yeah. Um,
So yeah, anyway, you didn't you were just being friendly, went to the bar to grab a drink, and then he parlayed you off. Rude, Samantha,
ba-
when you're listening to this, rude. But anyway, it all worked out in the end.
so what happened was that like one of the people that was there who turned out was a very good friend of someone's. I met her for a coffee a couple of weeks later, and we were just generally talking about dating in Delhi. And she's like, "Oh yeah, this guy Samant, he's single. Do you want me to set you up?" And I was like, "Okay, one date, like, what's the harm? Let's do it." And then we ended up going on one date, and then one turned into three, four, five. And now I've moved countries from India to the UK, and we're married.
So you were dating in Delhi because like I think he had gone over for. Why was someone there? I can't remember.
He'd gone over for some work, so
Oh,
their
okay.
family business is across India
Yeah.
and the UK. So he was well, he was supposed to be there long term. So in my head, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stay in Delhi forever. It's my city. I've grown up here. I love this place. And then in walks Sumant, and suddenly I find myself in a new country.
Yeah. How are you finding that? Because you've been here for what, almost 2 years now?
It's actually just
Actually,
almost a year, a little more than a year
yeah.
now,
Oh,
a year and a
yeah.
half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
you met him 2 years ago, and you guys got married last year, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's been good. I mean, obviously it's been really nice having someone in his family around. Because Birmingham is a completely new place for me. It did take some time to settle in. It was like anything. It was like a bit of a challenge, but I feel more at home here now than I did when I first came, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, no, I totally understand and resonate with that. Like, I got married and moved to New York.
Oh
It
wow, okay.
was like, God, 15 years ago now.
Mm,
2012. My maths is a bit shit. So yeah, about that. 12, 13 years ago or so. And yeah, it was hard to kind of make that transition. It was okay, but you do sometimes feel a little bit lonely because it's just like I'm kind of like
yeah.
piggybacking off the guys' friends and their contacts because you don't have any of your own.
Yeah.
Um, and it takes about a year to just really get to know yourself in this new environment and make your own groups of friends. So I'm really glad that you settled. And what a way to like mark your 1 year in a new country. Like most people be like, right, I just need to keep as many things as I can the same. But no, not Bovie. She's just like, right, I've done a year, I've settled in. Now I'm going to start my own business. Woo! Wow. What led you to that transition?
Yeah. So I've always been around people who kind of done their own business. So that's really inspired me. My father started his own business. This is almost 30 years ago. And he's been like a huge inspiration. So there's always been, you just have to do something on your own and like create something. Like, yeah, maybe I would do it, but never felt like my story or something that came from inside me.
Hmm.
And then I did join consulting for a bit and I worked in finance for a bit. And then I could see like the differences in working for somebody else and then working for yourself. So after a few years of doing that, I reached the conclusion that like working for myself is something that I might want to explore and try. Um, it's a bit of a risk, but I felt like, I'm young, I don't have any responsibilities, I don't have a family yet. So that's a risk I can take for myself and explore that and see how far it goes. And then, of course, I can fall back on my work experience and I can fall back
Mhm.
on my education if things don't work out.
Yeah, and you know what? Thank you so much for being so honest about that because, not every single idea or business venture is always going to come to fruition. And
Mm-hmm.
even if it comes to fruition, it may not always be successful, but we can't look at that as a failure. The real failure is if you didn't even start, because that would be
Definitely.
the biggest failure. You didn't even give it
Mm-hmm.
a try. There is no harm in saying, you know what, I tried it. It wasn't as successful as we needed it to be, but that's not a failure. That is just an beautiful experience. We have to get out of this idea that every decision that you make has to be the right one.
Definitely.
You can always make another decision. So many people do that, and even with like degrees and think, oh, this is what I want to do at uni, but actually after the first year, they're like, oh no, I didn't think it was going to be like that. Let me change my course. That's not a failure. That is you just taking that step to try it out, and then just making another step or another decision to be like, right, it wasn't for me. I'm going to now realign, re-steer.
I think also there's kind of like a recognition that we're really lucky that we can even try things out because that's not in cards for everyone, right? Like we're really lucky that we can take a risk and put our uh, effort behind something that may or may not work out. So I'm really grateful to have that privilege to be able to do that. Um, yeah, I also think just the time that we live in, everything is kind of performative. Like everything's happening on Instagram or on TikTok, and everyone needs to know at every stage of the cycle where you're at and how things are working. And I guess that makes people not want to take a risk if they're not sure of the outcome.
Mm.
Um, just because we live in this kind of like performative like kind of world and that's a bit of a shame. Like we should be allowed to kind of take a risk and see if things work out, if they don't work out, and be able to change and adapt and just move on from things.
I'm so glad you brought that up because you know what? Honestly, this morning I was watching a reel by someone who was like trying to make these like chia seed tortilla wraps, like high protein, high
Hmm.
fiber tortilla
Yeah.
wraps. Not that I'm ever gonna make them because your girl doesn't like cooking, but I was just interested. I was like, I have chia seeds, let me see in it. So this guy is cooking it and he's a doctor and he was like, I've seen this on a reel, I'm gonna recreate it. So he literally was doing it step by step. And you know what the beautiful thing was? He made the mixture. It looked amazing. He's like, yeah, it looks exactly like the thing. Took out his little ball of dough, rolled it out. It wasn't perfectly round, but he was like, let's go, let's give it a shot. Put it on the pan, and it started sticking. Then he was like, oh no. Tried to flip it over. It completely messed up. And he still put it in his reel. And then he was like, you know what? Didn't work on this. Let's try a non-stick pan. They tried it on the non-stick pan, worked perfectly. And you know what? I'll
Yeah.
be very honest. I actually enjoyed the bit where it didn't work, because that's the reality of it.
Mhm.
We all have those points, but or they will say the first roti or chapati or the first pancake is always the test one because it's never
Yeah.
quite right.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he kept that in. So shout out to Doctor's Kitchen. I think that's what his name is. I'll double check
Yeah.
for keeping that bit in because I was like, he didn't have to. But that was the bit that I resonated with the most. And it
Mhm.
actually made me think, maybe I shall try it because, it made it more relatable. So I think, although there is one side of what you've said is true about there is this whole pressure of perfectionism, performance. You've got to
Mhm.
make it work. If you said you're going to do it now, it's got to be the biggest success and it's got to, you know, be out there and you've got to have the biggest following and all these things. But I think now there is becoming a little bit of a shift on the other side of people want to see real, relatable content. They want to
Mhm.
see the hiccups, they want to see the challenges,
Right.
they want to see the failures. The majority of people will be like, "Oh wow, she failed and she wasn't afraid to showcase that because that's real. Thank you so much for raising that because I think it's really important that people hear that. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back to what you were doing, and it's not a failure. It is
Mm.
just a redirection. So coming back to you had this idea you wanted to do a business, but you didn't have, like you said, that story behind it, that relatable thing that was like the thing that made you think, yes, this is the reason why I want to do this business. That came because of an injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is going back to 2019, just before the COVID pandemic struck. I've always been into running, and working out, and I was sprinting, and my foot landed in a way that it twisted, and I injured my ankle really badly. So I went through all the physio and all the recommended exercises, and the doctor was like, okay, you have flat feet. You need to
I
wear
have
cushioned
flat
shoes.
feet as well.
Do you?
Look at that. How weird. We both have flat feet. Um, can you just elaborate what flat feet are for people that might not know?
Yeah. So I'm not a doctor, so please do fact check me on this. But essentially, it's when your arch, which is the inside of your foot, is collapsed. So you kind of like pronate inwards as you walk. Um, that's what a flat foot is. And so this doctor said that, you have to wear cushioned shoes. So I went out and I bought some cushioned shoes, and the first time I ran in those shoes, I was in so much pain. And it
Mm,
just didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. And then the pandemic struck and we were all stuck at home. We couldn't go out. So I wasn't really running that much. That's also kind of when I really, I guess, started my wellness journey. I started doing yoga. I started doing pranayama in the morning. I got into meditation. And through those things, I really kind of realized that I was missing like a deep connection with my body. Um,
mm.
and on the other side of it, I was also kind of researching like, how do I get back to running? Why is my ankle still paining? What's not working in what the doctors have told me to do? And I kind of rediscovered the idea of barefoot shoes. So there's a very popular book that came out. I forget the name of the book. It was by Christopher McDougall, I think. And I thought like, oh, this is garbage. I really thought like, there's no way people can run barefoot and like not get injured. Like, what is this man talking about? And I just completely rubbished the idea. And then kind of fast forwarding to when I got injured and started looking into how I can get back to running pain free, I came across this idea again and I thought, okay, maybe there's something to it. And I ordered my first pair of barefoot shoes. It's the 5-finger ones that you don't like. I still wear those. I have that same pair that I
Do
still
you
wear. It's
have them?
lasted me.
What color
I
did
do.
you get?
Yeah. I got it turquoise. It's like bright turquoise.
You're gonna have to send me a photo of these, and I will put it in the show notes as well. Because
Yeah.
this is she came from this to what she does now. Okay, it's like the before and after. The glow up is real, people. Let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean the transition it wasn't easy. I always like to tell people that when you're switching to barefoot shoes, you don't go from 0 to 100 super quickly because you're taking off like so much cushioning. You've never had that much sensation in your feet. You've never had that kind of movement through your feet. So you have to take it slowly. Otherwise, you do risk injuring yourself. So it
Okay.
is a bit of an investment of kind of time and effort from people who are switching to barefoot shoes.
So when you mean you don't go from 0 to 100, what does that mean in terms of being in barefoot shoes?
So when I say that you should transition slowly, it means
Yeah.
if you're a runner and you're running like 100 miles a week, or you don't go from wearing cushion shoes and running 100 miles a week to
Okay.
wearing barefoot shoes and running 100 miles a week. Like you
Hmm.
have to take it slowly as your body adjusts to, it's a huge change. So you do want to take it slowly. So that's one aspect when it comes to working out. But in every day, you can buy barefoot shoes, maybe wear them around the house, take them out for a dinner, see how you feel. Because you might find that your feet are a little achy, maybe your calves feel a little stretched out. Um, But, as you kind of get into it, like your body will speak to you and you'll be able to tell, is it working for me? Is it not working for me? So I do recommend kind of like just transitioning slowly for people who've never tried barefoot shoes
So,
before.
so wearing them for like an hour a day, hour to 2 hours a day first, and then building up to wearing them all the time. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, exactly. Uh, Again, I just want to tell your listeners, I'm not a doctor. This is just kind of like self research and experimentation I've done on myself. As per my understanding, what happens is when we're in a shoe that has a pointy toe box, your big toe that actually forms your base of support is squished.
Yeah,
So instead of it being like forming your base of support and engaging your arch, it's actually squished and it can't engage your arch. So
yeah,
when you do start kind of wearing barefoot shoes and your big toe is more active and it's engaging your arch gets engaged. Your arch is a muscle. There's so many muscles in your feet. It can be strengthened. So that's really the idea when you're switching to barefoot shoes. Is the idea is that it strengthens all the muscles in your feet. It gets them moving again.
okay, brilliant. Thank you so much. Yeah, because I do remember I got a pair of those, I think they were called Vibro Barefoot foot
Oh, is it
once.
Vivo barefoot?
Probably, yeah, but they were just trainers. And I'll be honest, like I do like wearing trainers. I am in trainers pretty much all the time. They're like, I don't know, back then they didn't have many designs. I don't know what the designs are like now, but I just didn't like find them very stylish. What I love about what you've brought to the table is something completely unique. Um, they're like really nice, good quality barefoot footwear, which don't look like they're barefoot. So like even these trainers, they look like they're like sporty shoes, or they're like you can't wear them with dresses and stuff. So please tell us about your company and how did the name come about?
Yeah, definitely. So the company is called Paidal. I really appreciate your kind words. So what we're trying to do is make barefoot shoes that are beautiful, barefoot shoes that you can wear um outside the house, to work, to an event, to a date even. Um that
Yeah, the market is there, but it's just not very attractive, especially for women. A lot of our shoes are so uncomfortable, and like you said, so rightly so, those pointed stiletto heels are just so bad for our posture.
yeah.
And even
Yeah.
the like ballerina shoes, they kind of, like you said, push our toes, compress them so much, and we're in those day in, day out. So no wonder pretty much most of the population's feet are out of alignment. So yeah, just, tell us a little bit more about the range and what it's made out of, and how you came to the name as well, because the name has a meaning.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Let me actually start with the name because there's a good
Yeah.
story. There's a good story with that. So I thought of the idea for the company during COVID. I wrote down like this little notebook, and I was super excited, and then it kind of just got slept on. And so fast forwarding to 2 weeks before my husband and I got married, we were just sitting together and talking about that I potentially want to start this business one day and see how it goes. And we were talking about what we would name it. And he suggested, why wouldn't you call it Paidal? So Paidal in Hindi means to travel by feet, kind of like walking. And I thought, you know what? No one's going to understand that. Like, how am I going to explain to someone what that means? Let me call it something else in English that makes sense to people. And
What were the other names that you were throwing into the hat? Just out of interest, do you
so
remember?
there was pedal shoes, like
Pedal,
pedaling, like
yeah,
bipedal. Yeah, I think the root word is kind of the same.
yeah.
Because
Because
pedal,
bear means feet,
feet.
basically, in
Yeah,
Hindi
that's
and
it.
in Punjabi. So that's where
Yeah,
bear and bedal means to then walk with your
exactly.
feet.
Yeah.
But I love how if it was anglicized, it still means like it still sounds like pedal, like you still use your feet to pedal, right? So
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so And then actually, when I moved to Birmingham, I started maybe appreciating India a bit more. You know, when you're there, you kind of take it for granted. The food, the clothes.
Oh,
I I really started to appreciate kind of like the um the art that India brings to the world a bit more. And really it's wearable art. Even like the top I'm wearing today, someone had to design it, someone had to be skilled enough to make the blocks for the printing. Someone had to be skilled in the dyeing to dye the top in the different colors. And I just find that so beautiful. So that's why Paidal kind of celebrates that skill and that artistry that Indian craftspeople bring to the world. So all of our shoes are handmade. They're made with the best quality, sustainable leathers that we can find. And they're all made to order. So we're trying to reduce any kind of wastage and things we make that are not sold. And yeah, like, I'm just really trying to bring India on the map of the world when it comes to making things and making beautiful things.
yes, I love that. As you were talking, I just got all the chills, and when I get the chills, that's like my guides and my angels saying yes,
Uh,
yes, yes, all to this. So, I love that. I love the fact that I now, and I have to say a, a thank you in advance. And I'm really looking forward to getting my pair. And the fact that I have to wait for them is beautiful as well, because like you said, they're handmade. They're going to be specific. They're not just like taken off the shelf. We've, I think in today's society, we've forgotten the art of being patient and having to wait, which is really sad because everything is, oh, next day. Sometimes you can even get it same day. Like when I was living in New York, back in 2012, 2013, Amazon had just launched their same day delivery in certain parts of Manhattan. So you could just order it in the morning and it would be there on your doorstep at night. So people are more impatient. They have short attention spans. They have shorter fuses now because you've got your Netflix shows, the next episode, and it's like a 5 second loading block. And how many people, and be honest, listeners, how many of you click that next episode? You can't even wait 5 seconds for the next episode. I mean, BBC iPlayer even you got to wait 15 seconds for the next episode. But I am willing to bet that 98% of people press that next episode because they can't wait 10, 15, 5 seconds to then watch another show. So what I'm going to ask people to do, this is a little bit of homework, everybody, or soul work, we'll call it. This is a bit of soul work. When you're watching your program and you're going to watch another episode afterwards, do me a favor, don't press that next episode. Use those 10 to 15 seconds to just stop and just look at the screen and say, you know what? What a time to be alive where I don't have to wait a whole week for the next episode, not give my energy and control over to that remote where I'm just so impatient that I can't wait 5 seconds for the next episode. This is some free coaching. This is the kind of coaching I give to my clients. And we do experiments and we say, how did you feel after a week of doing that? And they're like, oh my God, I actually felt more powerful because you're giving your power away. Every time you click, every time you scroll, what you don't realize, you're actually giving your energy and your power away to a machine.
Hmm.
But we need to start bringing that power back. So that's just a little bit of free coaching and a little exercise for everybody to try. So, Bolvi, can you please tell us how barefoot shoes are constructed? What makes them different? What makes them unique? I mean, obviously, apart from the obvious, which are they're not trainers, but there's obviously a lot more benefits. Could you elaborate on that a little bit, please?
Yeah, of course. So we're doing a special kind of construction that hasn't been done before in barefoot shoes. It's called saccato. It means a little bag. So
Oh,
essentially, when the shoe is constructed, the upper and the lining of the shoe, that's hand stitched in kind of one piece together. So when you actually put on the shoe, it's going to be super soft, very flexible, and you're going to get that kind of worn in feeling from the first wear. And that's something special that we're bringing in the barefoot shoe space, along with our styles and our designing as well.
So does that mean like when they're flexible, they can fold up to like those? I remember those ballerina shoes that you could just fold up and put it in your bag when you're going out clubbing, and they're like, oh, these are the little shoes that you could take with you. So are they able to like fold up into like
Yeah,
a
yeah, they are able to fold up. We don't recommend storing them folded just
yeah,
because, it can get creases in the leather.
yeah,
So we do recommend kind of storing them as is. We do give dust bags with the box so you can store them nicely. But yeah, they do fold up, so they are super flexible as far as shoes are concerned. So you get all the benefits of the barefoot shoes. And yeah,
amazing.
hopefully everyone finds them super comfortable.
So where can we find you, Bolvi? Where can Paidal be found?
We're all going to be showing at a stand in Birmingham on the 24th of September. There's a
Woo!
barefoot shoe expo, the first ever barefoot shoe expo in England.
Wow,
So we do have a stand there. So if anyone's interested to come and try out barefoot shoes, to come and try out Paidal, we're gonna have a lot more colors and a lot more styles for people to see and for people to try and buy if they so wish.
amazing. Okay, so I'm definitely going to leave a link to that expo if you are in Birmingham and want to go to the first ever barefoot expo in the world, in the UK.
In the UK.
In the UK. There, look at me making it all global. But in the UK, it's happening in Birmingham, first one ever in the UK. Make sure you go and
That's
check
it.
it out. You can meet the lovely Bolvi herself. Can you just give us a quick uh, overview of the benefits of walking barefoot?
Yeah, definitely. So barefoot walking and being barefoot kind of helps you strengthen your feet, the muscles in your feet, the muscles in your legs. So you do get much stronger. It also improves your balance because we have so many nerve endings at the ends of our feet. So when you're in barefoot shoes, you're also exposing your nerves to a lot more sensation. So it really does improve your balance as well. And in both of those things, it also improves your posture. Maybe it's actually helpful to kind of talk about what barefoot shoes are. But barefoot shoes are basically wide in the front. So there's a wide toe box that lets your toes splay and gives your toes space to become base of support. They're also completely flat. So that means that like from your heel to your toes, there's no height difference. And they're very thin and flexible as well. So in being flat, it does improve your posture because your weight is not being shifted forward. Your weight is equally distributed across the length of your foot. So you're not putting pressure on your knees, on your hips, on your lower back. People might find that some kind of like nagging pains start improving when they switch to barefoot shoes. And then the fact that they're flat, the fact that they're thin and flexible again kind of improves that like sensation that you get from the ground, improves your balance, and improves kind of like the strength in your feet as well. Yeah.
So go and check out Paidal, follow their Instagram account, check out their range. They've got a limited range out at the moment, but like Bolby said, come 21st of September, which is also my sister's and my brother's girlfriend's birthday. Shout out to a little birthday for Ganga and Sheena. But if you're not celebrating their birthday, then you should definitely go and check out the first ever Barefoot Expo in Birmingham. I'll leave the link for the tickets for the expo, but also all the links for Paidal. Go and follow that business. It's going to change the game and the industry for the barefoot shoes. Because finally, thank you, Bolby, for bringing out some non-trainers so that we ladies can actually wear some fashionable shoes that are going to benefit us and not fuck up our backs. So, from all the women around the world, we thank you, as always, to end with a 1 minute meditation. So, if it is safe for you to do so, listeners, please close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in through our nose. Hold and then breathe out through the mouth. And as we've been talking about barefoot shoes and our feet, I want you to all take your focus and your attention down to the bottom of your feet, putting all of your focus into your feet. And some of you who are very sensitive to energy may actually start feeling some tingling sensations. That's all very normal. If you don't feel anything, it's absolutely fine. But just putting all of your attention and your focus to your feet and just thinking about all the things that your feet do for you, supporting you, keeping you mobile throughout the day, allowing you to walk, run, dance, supporting the whole of your body. So it's just showing them some gratitude. And as we do so, putting a smile on your face, saying thank you for my feet, for keeping me mobile and keeping me supported. Taking a nice deep breath in through our nose, hold, and then breathe out through our mouth. Ooh, thank you so much, Olvi. Good luck with everything. We're so excited to see your journey, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing success. You are changing the face of what it means to be in barefoot shoes. So, any last thoughts you want to share with everyone?
Just big thank you to you for having me and sharing your space with me. I really appreciate that, and for all your kind words. Yeah, I just hope everyone listening to this podcast, whether you buy Paidal or you don't buy Paidal, you just experience the benefits of being barefoot and being in touch with your body and strengthening your body. And just wish that for everyone.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. So, listeners, please do remember to download, share, and support this episode. Share it with someone you think needs to hear about the benefits of barefoot walking and barefoot shoes. Do share it on your socials and leave a review. It takes like 5 to 10 seconds. I mean, I personally would rate it 5 stars, but I'm not here trying to tell you how to live your life. You can rate it however you want. Um, but no, I jest. But please do share this episode because it does help people to understand the benefits of what they could be gaining wearing barefoot shoes or even just going barefoot out whenever we can. But at the end of the day, we live in England, so we only have like what 5 days to 10 days of actually being able to enjoy some glorious sunshine. Most of the time, we're going to be needing some barefoot shoes. So I will see you all on the next episode, sending you love, light, and blessings.